So, y'all, lefties, whatever flavor of left you might be, you could be a socialist, you could be a communist, you could be an anarchist, you could be just a little more a rad lib, you could be a progressive. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're getting involved with, the meme sharing, the Discord servers, all kinds of stuff like that. As Andrew Elias in the comments, hey Andy, says circle of trust. Exactly. Like whatever little group, left-wing group that you're getting involved in, be careful, okay? Like, have a little understanding that the left is, first of all, we definitely fall into our own factionalism, and it's very easy to look at whoever is barely not as left as you and call them a lib, or whoever is, just a little farther left than you, call them a tanky. I think we need a lot more solidarity on the left. That's why I really believe and trust and listen to those leftists who talk more about solidarity and left unity. But a big part of that is, I know there's a whole thing. You don't want to be a gatekeeper and say who can and can't come and be a part of the left. But at the same time, we got to be careful because the left is under constant threat. Not just, of course, you have right wingers trying to drive cars into Black Lives Matter protests, and Kyle Rittenhouse shooting up Black Lives Matter protesters. You have all of that, the violence, but we're also vulnerable to skullduggery, to rat fucking. Let me say that. Do you guys know what rat fucking is? Rat fucking is a political term. Let's do a little political education. What is rat fucking? Look at this. Rat fucking is an American slang term for political sabotage or dirty tricks, particularly pertaining to elections. It is brought to public attention by Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein in the book, which chronicled the investigative reporting of the Watergate affair, All the President's Men. So it's usually reserved for election time, like the hacking of the DNC and the release of the Podesta emails, on WikiLeaks. That was a good old-fashioned American rat fucking, okay? But the right is always trying to rat fuck, and skullduggery is a great word for it, too. But it just doesn't have it's a lot more intellectual and, it doesn't have the visceral truth and impact of rat fucking. But the right is always trying to rat fuck the left on the grassroots and ground level. And we just got a clear example of that. Here's a Guardian story. Revealed. Right-wing firm posed as leftist group on Facebook to divide Democrats. FEC investigation failed to uncover link to Rally Forge, a firm with close ties to Turning Points USA. That's good old, what's his name's, Charlie Kirk's outfit. Turning Point USA is entirely funded, not entirely, but it's largely funded by billionaire oil chemical company interest, Koch brothers. And there's endless amounts of money to inject right-wing talking points into the discourse, to poison the discourse in the United States with right-wing libertarian nonsense, or just to go into the left and throw a bunch of bombs and stir up a hornet's nest at any given time. A digital marketing firm closely linked to the pro-Trump youth group Turning Point USA was responsible for a series of deceptive Facebook ads promoting Green Party candidates during the 2018 U.S. midterm elections, The Guardian can reveal. In an apparent attempt to split the Democratic vote in a number of close races, the ads purported to come from an organization called American Progress Now, APN, and use socialist memes and rhetoric to urge left-wing voters to support Green Party candidates. Facebook was aware of the true identity of the advertiser, the conservative marketing firm Rally Forge, and the deceptive nature of the ads. Documents seen by The Guardian show, but the company determined that they did not violate its policies. Rally Forge would go on to set up a pro-Trump domestic troll farm for Turning Point Action, a sister organization of Turning Point USA, in 2020, earning a permanent ban from Facebook. Guys, you realize that you could just, if you're on the right, some oil billionaire will just pay you to sit around and shitpost and fuck up the left. That's a job. There's money for you. Here I am doing this on my own dime, on my own time, This is completely a labor of passion to try to help infotain. I'm an infotainer. Yes, I'm a trained journalist, but let's be real, I'm infotaining you, right? But I'm doing this just out of the kindness of my heart and the quest for, stronger left representation and solidarity and the left movement. But we're literally climbing uphill, wading through rivers of shit that is constantly being dumped on us by, just right-wing rat fucking skullduggery, paid trolls. Quote, there were no policies of Facebook against pretending to be a group that did not exist, an abuse vector that has also been used by the governments of Honduras and Azerbaijan, said Sophie Zhang, a former Facebook employee and whistleblower who played a small role in the investigation of the Green Party ads. She added, the fact that Rally Forge later went on to conduct coordinated, inauthentic behavior with troll farms reminiscent of Russia should be taken as an indication that Facebook's leniency led to more risk-taking behavior. Interesting. So these are some of the posts. If this is our third-party option, why are Americans still voting for corporate-controlled Democrats and Republicans? Michael Wright, running for Congress of Wisconsin, is putting partisanship aside and standing up as an ally for those oppressed by the patriarchy by recognizing his privilege. So they get the buzzwords a little bit, don't they? Interesting. The revolution is winning because we are thinking for ourselves. We don't need corporate America. We don't need political parties. We need progress, and we are winning it for ourselves. Rose emoji. So they're using the rose emoji. Oh, look at this. They have the Drake meme. Capitalism. Nah. Socialism. Yeah, man. Working on the weekend like usual. Right? Capitalism. Got me working on the weekend like usual. So, yeah, so there they are. So kind of spam Ferris, just kind of, what's the word? Muddying the waters, right? With propaganda. Devin Kearns, a spokesperson for Facebook, said, we removed Rally Forge from our platforms for violating our policy against coordinated, inauthentic behavior. Since the 2018 midterms, we have strengthened our policies related to election interference and political ad transparency. We continue working to make political advertising more transparent on our platform, and we welcome updated regulations and help from policymakers as we evolve our policies in this space. Oh, yeah. The revelation that the ads were linked to a right-wing organization raises questions about the Federal Election Commission's enforcement of campaign finance laws. APN and its ads appeared to violate federal laws that require independent expenditures to be filed with the FEC and include proper disclosures on advertisements, as ProPublica and Vice News first reported in 2018. Wow. So there you go. I mean, it's illegal to knowingly make false or fraudulent statements to federal agencies, and the FEC appears to have taken Molstein at his word that the ads were a sincere but novice attempt to support Green Party candidates. Wow. So it's a little fraud. It's a little teensy-weensy bit of fraud. And Charlie Kirk is the guy who, is involved with this group. Here's, Charlie Kirk. Apparently he was speaking at a young conservative women's conference, and this is some of the gems you're going to get from Charlie Kirk.
And here's why. Because we live in an abundant society. We live in a place where you could have literally weed delivered to your front door. It's like, what? And somehow, oh, that's liberty. No, that's actually slavery.
What? What? Well, we got to hear that again.
And here's why. Because we live in an abundant society. We live in a place where you could have literally weed delivered to your front door. It's like, what? And somehow, oh, that's liberty. No, that's actually slavery. And here's why. Because
slavery? Having weed delivered is slavery, huh? Like I've never heard that one before. But that's the kind of thoughts you're going to get. I love the troll stuff of Charlie Kirk. People take like the Turning Point memes and then they make his face smaller, like on his head, because his face is already a disturbing, like, amount too small for his face, and they make it even more so. Dear liberals, if marine life is really going extinct, why is Crabfest back at Red Lobsters? Shit like that. Those are fun. Wow. Jesus. Let's see. Sun Green, Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War, attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes. They've always been doing that. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if that's domestically. Trev Flat 5, Spam Ferris might be an honest dumbass because he's left of the IDW. Let's see. Andrew Elias wants to know why now. Why now what? Tribunus Plebis Media, this is why I don't smoke weed. I am freedom. Smells like corn chips. The virus came from a bioweapons lab in China. Yeah, very funny. Andy says, never mind. Okay. Let's see. And so also Charlie Kirk was pushing, he was gloating before January 6th that he had busloads of Turning Points USA people, kids, these young conservatives, ready to go to help stop the steal. But he also, and we all saw what happened on January 6th, he also tweeted this, which is quite unfortunate. Hey, liberals, do you notice that when conservatives lose races, we don't riot, scream, smash windows, burn cars, assault people, or need days off of work? It's amazing how mature and civil conservatives are. Please remember this and take notes when we get Trump reelected in 2020. Yeah, how'd that go? Chuck, Charlie, whatever your name is? Pretty bad. Some of the memes for Charlie Kirk are really quite something. And I enjoy most of them. People always post this picture. It's Charlie Kirk, everyone. But yeah, so crazy stuff. This one's not too bad either. So it's fun to laugh at these guys, but keep in mind, this guy makes money. He's just on the public dole, or not public dole. He's on the private enterprise dole to just go around and spread right-wing propaganda, include rat fucking the left on social media, and trying to obfuscate, and there's just piles of money for charlatans like him. Here's a better picture of Charlie Kirk. There it is. It's a little more recent. There's just tons of money for people like this. It's sitting around for them to espouse right-wing propaganda. Where's that on the left? We don't have that on the left at all. You're stuck with me, folks. You're stuck with me. But anywho, so that's going on. Y'all need to know about stuff like that. Just remember, the right is constantly funded and backed and supported because who really supports right-wing policy? It's the rich. It's the wealthy. They know what that means, right? They know what laissez-faire capitalism provides them. They will spend hundreds of millions because it saves them billions in taxes and other things. So.